The rise of smartphones has made Android and iOS household words. I guarantee you'll hear about them mentioned in your work as a product manager, so it's really important to understand more about them and what makes them so different. That said, let's dig in. Android and iOS are operating systems. An operating system is a central control of your device. It runs behind every app, connecting the app to the basic functions of the phone, such as the camera, the GPS, and yes, even the telephone. The operating system serves the same function on a phone that Windows or OS X serves on your laptop or desktop machine. The main difference here is in who makes them and which phones they support. Apple makes the iPhone and iPad, and iOS is the operating system they provide to run these devices. Apple controls what goes into iOS because they make both the phone software and hardware. This means the base features on any iPhone running the same version of iOS are virtually identical, and that different devices running iOS will interact smoothly with each other. The situation with Android is a bit different. Android was created by Google and it's open source, which means it's available to anyone to use. That includes any company that manufactures smartphones. Now, Google does make some phones themselves, but the most common situation you're going to see is that an Android device has the Android operating system running on a phone or tablet, which is made by some other company like Samsung or LG. Now, since Android is open source, some of these companies also modify Android to add their own apps and features. This means that two phones running the same version of Android could potentially look really different. Unless the devices came from the same manufacturer, the fact that they both run Android doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to work well together or even have the same features. Now, you should also know that the systems and languages used to develop apps for each operating system are completely different. On Apple devices, there's Objective-C and Swift, which are the computer languages used for developing iOS apps, and most work is done through the developer network. On the other hand, Android apps are developed with several languages that are independent of Google. The official development language is Java, but C++, C#, and Python can also be used in some cases. The apps for these devices are distributed by stores controlled by Apple or Google. Now, Apple exerts a lot more control over the apps that are approved for their store, effectively meaning they control the app development process much more. Getting that app approved for the Apple App Store can take up a lot of time, but the approval process for Google is a little bit easier. However, they still do have strict standards. One consequence of having multiple phone manufacturers is fragmentation. Each manufacturer's phone is essentially a different platform, even if the Android version is the same. So this problem, along with lower profit margins on Android, offsets the greater ease of getting the app approved. One other thing to know about Android phones is that, unlike iPhones, in many instances you can install basically whatever software you want on the phone, even if it doesn't come from the App Store. This isn't really a wise move for security reasons, but some tinkerer types like developers like having this option. In order to do the same thing on an iPhone, you need to go through this really complex and risky process known as rooting the phone to subvert the security protocols Apple has put in place. Now you've got a good overview of the most common concepts you're going to hear in relation to making applications on mobile devices. In the modern tech industry, this knowledge you'll use basically every day. And it's also vital stuff to help you understand future technological advancements as they happen down the road.